Hello, Northern Michigan, and welcome back to Traverse Talks. I'm Jim Horn, and this is your Friday news wrap-up for April 24th, 2026. Well, it's been a week up here. The floodwaters are finally receding. The Road Commission is counting the damage, and a lot of the stories we're going to hit today come back to the same big questions. Who pays for the fix? What gets built next? And what gets protected? We've got three local stories today. Workforce housing moving forward in the city. A new boardwalk going on on Old Mission Peninsula. And a pretty big moment for Northwestern Michigan College. And then we'll zoom out to Washington, D.C., because a budget fight there could reach right into West Grand Traverse Bay. Workforce housing at 314 East 8th. First up, housing. And anyone who's tried to find a place to live in Traverse City in the last 5 years already knows why this matters. City officials are moving forward on a workforce housing project at 314 East 8th Street. The site folks around here still call the old Copy Central building. The plan would build apartments restricted to residents earning up to 120% of the area median income. That's teachers, nurses, line cooks, firefighters, the working backbone of Traverse City. What's getting attention in this version of the plan is that at least 10% of the units are being set aside as permanent supportive housing, meaning homes with on-site services for people transitioning out of homelessness. That's very, very interesting. And look, you can argue about density, parking, building height, but the numbers don't lie. Young people in their 30s are leaving this region, and the reason they give over and over is they can't afford to stay. This project is one of several the city has in motion. East Bay Flats, Orchard View, and now Copy Central. It's a pipeline, and it's long overdue. New boardwalk at Pelizari Natural Area from the city out to Old Mission Peninsula now, and a bit of good news that's easy to miss. Peninsula Township started construction this week on a new boardwalk through the Hemlock wing of the Pelizari Natural Area. If you've hiked that trail, you know the section I'm talking about. Damp, mossy, gorgeous, and tough on foot traffic. The boardwalk is designed to protect the wetland underneath, and it's going to open that part of the trail to people who can't navigate uneven ground, including folks with mobility challenges. So seniors, take note. The township is targeting early June for completion, which, if you're doing the math, means it will be open right as we hit peak trail season. Small story, but it's the kind of investment that pays off every single weekend for the next 30 years. Hey, shout out to Peninsula Township on this one. And NMC celebrates 75 years. Well, now to higher education, and a milestone that matters to almost everybody listening. Northwestern Michigan College is kicking off the public phase of its 75th anniversary celebration this Saturday, April 25th, with a student and community block party on the main Traverse City campus. The whole thing is free and open to the public. There will be food, live music, and tours of the academic programs. NMC opened its doors in 1951. Think about that. 75 years of nurses, welders, aviators, chefs, teachers, freshwater scientists trained right here, mostly staying right here, thank God. NMC is one of the largest employers in this region and is arguably the single most important economic engine for northern Michigan that most people really never talk about. So the block party starts Saturday on campus. That's April 25th. If you've got kids thinking about what's next, or you just want to say thanks to an institution that's been part of this community longer than most of us have been alive, go show up. All right, let's step back and look at a story out of Washington, D.C., our favorite town, I think, sometimes, that hits a lot closer to home rather than it might sound. Great Lakes funding is on the line. The White House's proposed fiscal year 2027 budget would cut Environmental Protection Agency funding by roughly 52%, bringing it down to about $4.2 billion. However, tucked inside that proposal are steep cuts to programs that directly protect the Great Lakes. Analysis from the Alliance for the Great Lakes and Circle of Blue estimate the 8 Great Lakes states could lose about $723 million, roughly 90% of their current Clean Water Program funding, if this budget passes as written. Senator Gary Peters and Senator John Husted of Ohio have introduced bipartisan legislation to reauthorize the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative before it expires in September. And the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee held a hearing on Great Lakes restoration earlier this month. So there's real pushback, and that's good, and it's bipartisan. So why does this matter to Grand Traverse County? Because Traverse City draws its drinking water right out of West Grand Traverse Bay. Because we just watched what happens when water infrastructure fails. Ask anybody who lives near Beitner Road. And because this region's entire identity, our tourism, our cherries, our wine, our boats, our kids jumping off Clinch Park in July, all of it runs on clean Great Lakes water. The budget fight will play out in Congress over the next coming months. This is one to really watch closely. And call your representative about it if you feel like it. That's really always very, very important. Anyway, folks, that's your Friday news wrap for April 24th, 2026. Oh, hey, here's a quick reminder. Glen Lake Restaurant Week kicks off today and runs through May 2nd. Grab friends, go eat in Leelanau County, and, hey, tip well, shoulder season dollars really matter up there. And finally, if this show helps you make sense of the week, do me a favor. Share it with one person who loves this place as much as you do. That's how we grow here at Traverse Talks. I'm Jim Horn, and this has been Traverse Talks. Be good to each other out there, and I'll see you next week.